Updated April 1, 2018, 9 hours 40 minutes and 33 seconds. Imagine relocating your life from the country you've always known to somewhere very different with a 7-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son. The Kezuma family did just that. After the violence of the May 1998 riots in Jakarta, Tendine Kezuma decided to move his family from Indonesia to Australia for a new start. It was 2005 before they could make their first step with a temporary move to Singapore. They landed in Melbourne in 2007. It was tough. They moved from middle-class affluence to renting in suburban Melbourne and paying hefty fees for their kids to go to school in Australia while they waited 4 years for permanent residency. But 10 years on, both kids are studying at university and the family is hoping to buy a house in Melbourne later this year. Tendine Kezuma, 50, father a real estate reporting analyst. Tendine studied at RMIT University in Melbourne, and returned to Indonesia to work for multinational companies. He hoped his children could get a better education by moving to Australia. To be honest, I don't think I'm Indonesian after all the hell that I've been through. When we moved to Singapore, we reckoned we were Singaporean because we were so accepted over there. Now I'm proud I'm an Australian. I decided to move here for a better life for the family after all the things I've been through in Indonesia. Back in 1998, there was a big riot there. I got to make a split decision, which luckily, I did. If went the other way, I might have got killed. I was in the office in Jakarta and there were riots. My younger brother called my wife and said, "Don't let him leave the house," but it was too late and I was in the middle of it. By 10 o'clock they blew up the shopping center just across from our office. The boss said, "You are not going home. If you go home, I am pretty sure you are going to get killed somewhere around there because people are just blocking the road." He said the best way was to go and stay at a hotel. By 3 a.m. I got a call from one of my friends in the military and he said it was safe to go home. I just saw bodies everywhere, burning cars, burning buses. There was a lot of hatred towards Chinese, a lot of hatred towards non-Muslim, Catholic, burning all the churches and all that. Moving to Australia was hard, especially for my wife because she had never been to any foreign country. Singapore was all right for her because she speaks Mandarin and the culture is kind of the same. When we came here it was a bit of crisis. We couldn't find accommodation. About a month I stayed with my brother. It was so hard, but finally we got in somewhere in Hawthorn, inner city Melbourne. It has been hard financially. I've got to pay the full amount of money for my children as full fee-paying students. We were paying around $10,000 for the government school per year, most of the money that I saved to come here. One day I thought I would buy a house, it's all gone to pay school fees. Basically, I just lost one house over there to pay for their education. Yes, there are racists, even in Singapore there are racists. But the good thing about Australia, there is a law here. The law protects you. But back in Indonesia the law is there but it's not going to protect you. My advice for people thinking of moving is that if your kids are still young, do it straight away because it's going to be easier for the kids to adapt. Secondly, you've just got to get out from your comfort zone. You've just got to learn the way of life here, not try to be together with your peers. That's the best advice. Sabina Dinita Kezuma, 18, daughter Sabina was 7 when her family arrived. Now she is studying neuroscience and psychology at Swinburne University in Melbourne and working part-time in a fast food restaurant. She finished her final year of high school in Victoria in the top 10% of students across the state. I'd never really experienced what cold weather felt like. In Indonesia and Singapore, the climate is similar, humid, hot and warm. When we first arrived at Melbourne Airport I had my big coat on and I couldn't wait to get outside and feel the cold weather. One of the biggest challenges growing up was getting to know people over and over again because you meet people and they already have their best friends from childhood. I'd never been to a school where I would start from the beginning and stay to the very end until I went to high school. I'm super grateful for the friends that I have because they are the longest relationships that I have. I got teased or bullied a little bit but not too much. Sometimes because of my height, I'm short. People would ask me if I do karate because I'm Asian, obviously. No, but I do like watching Jackie Chan movies. Leaving behind the culture was a sacrifice. My cousins have a closer relationship with each other and I feel like a foreigner in my own family because when I do speak Indonesian I have an accent and I'm not too fluent. Sometimes I can't really connect with my friends here even though I can speak English, so it's sort of separated who I am. They don't know what it's like to have family members over in Indonesia. I see myself as Indo-Sing Australian, a combination of being Indonesian, Singaporean and Australian. Every time we go back to Indonesia I always feel like I'm going back to my past. Singapore is my childhood, because I went to school there and made friends there.